Alright, so here I've got the new floorboards from T-Rex Racing. I'm going to install them on my Yamaha Bolt. They seem to be very nicely constructed. They're all aluminum, and I really like the milling that they did on the inside here. Looks really good. Alright, so first things first, I need to remove these stock pegs, and I'll have to take that cotter pin out and pull the main pin out, and then the rest of that just comes off. So, alright, so what you're going to be left with is just that factory position for the peg to go in. Came out pretty easy. The cotter pin was the hardest part to get out, but then this main pin just slides out. You have the collar and a spring. Now for the next step, it says to take and remove the mount by removing this bolt and place the mount in the factory mounting position. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so another thing to note is the kit does not come with new cotter pins, but they are cheap enough. What I did was went to Harbor Freight and bought one of these. I actually bought this a while back for other stuff, but they're only a couple bucks, and you get 555 of them. So you'll need to replace the two cotter pins that are from the factory. You don't want to use the old ones. Like I said, they're cheap enough. This one's the 3/32 by 1 inch. And after you're done with that, you're going to want to take and loosen where this bolt goes in to be able to spin this part of the mount to align it for the floorboard, whichever position you want to get it in. So you just loosen it a couple turns, and then you'll be able to turn it and then adjust the set screw and tighten it. Alright, so I put these on and I had this issue where it was sort of a little bit loose here. However, what they did to remedy that, and I've seen it doesn't say anything about it, I don't believe, in the directions. However, these two set screws that go in on the adapter, if you take them out and put some Loctite on them, screw them back in about halfway, that should compensate for the sag that these have, because they were hanging a little low when I put them on the first time. But if you adjust those out to hold it at a stopping position, then they should be level. So go ahead and do that, put Loctite on them, and then when you go to put these on, the floorboards on, make sure you're putting Loctite on the bolt. You don't want it coming loose, because it does face to the rear. It goes in through this part. So you're going to want Loctite on it, because like everything else, it's going to vibrate loose. Alright, so for this part, you're going to need a 13mm wrench for the bolt. You can't get a socket rather, in there. And also the little adjustments on the bottom, little set screws, you have to screw those all the way in order to get that spring to go back far enough at that angle. But go ahead and tighten these up. Alright, it does have a torque setting on the bolt that's on the inside, but yeah, the M8 by 30 bolt is 15 pounds, so make sure you're checking that. I've already tightened it, so it's not going to go anywhere. Anyways, the last thing you'll want to do on these is go ahead and adjust out these two set screws on the bottom. Like I said, don't forget to put Loctite in those so that they're not going to come loose on you going down the road. Let's bring that back one out a little bit more. Let's see, they can touch right in there on the center. I don't know if you can see that or not. Alright, now that I got it adjusted, it's going to have a little bit of free play in this direction, which is going to help it not snap off. And then this direction, when you inevitably start grinding your floorboards, like with the pegs that were from the factory. The pegs from the factory, I mean, stuck out about this far. So, yeah. I mean, it comes out a little bit further from the factory pegs, but it is up higher. So it might actually give me a little bit more clearance on turns. Alright, now that I got that done, I'm going to go ahead and mirror the same thing on the other side and do that peg. And I'll be back after I'm done. Alright, so here's the other side, all mounted up. I did have to adjust my brake up. I had it a little bit lower before, a little too low for the factory foot pegs. Still, again, had to adjust those, bring it up a little bit more level. I'm gonna have to adjust it here and there to get everything where I really want it after I go ride it. But anyways, all in all, they look pretty decent. I like them. Pretty good on both sides there. Anyways, go check out trexracing.com. They have a couple other Yamaha bolt parts. They've got a engine guard and I believe a center stand. If you like those center stands like on the older imported bikes, they go under here and hold your bike up level. That's the kind of stuff you like to display your bike that way. Anyways, I'm gonna go over a couple more things that I have. I have these forward extensions that I made just out of a I believe it was a 3/4 by 1/2 inch bar stock. I just basically took the factory mounts and put them on here to mark the holes, and then moved them forward and marked 2 more holes where the bolts are and drilled the holes there. And then I had an extension rod from another kit that I didn't use. On this side I did the same thing, moved them forward. I believe it was 7 inches or 7.5 inches, but it gets my feet forward. Excuse the Crocs. If you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking, right? Anyways, push my legs at a little bit over 90 degrees. It is a whole lot more comfortable than having them underneath you. You can see on this side, my boots are a lot thinner than these, so that won't be a problem with room for the brake here. Anyhow, also got Vance & Hines VO2 intake, and I'm not going to link the pipes there. The short pipes, the short drag pipes, I'm not going to link them because it's a cheap Chinese company. You can probably figure out where I got them. Then I got this this exhaust wrap that says it's made out of volcanic rock fibers. I assume they make it the same exact way as fiberglass. Anyhow, I'll make a video after giving my thoughts on my first ride with these. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.